Golden Age Radio is starting now. Subscribe to get future updates.
Hey everybody, get ready for some great shows. Starting out with Cavalcade of America, Lux Theater with some great Hollywood stars, Groucho Marx, one of the best comedians in history, and also followed by the hilarious Red Skelton.
The Cavalcade of America, presented by DuPont. This evening, the Cavalcade of America brings you a story about a valiant young woman who braved all opposition to gain a place in the world of science. Stimulated by a desire to promote the advancement of science, the DuPont Company just this week announced a project to encourage graduate university students and young instructors in carrying on chemical research work. This is an expansion of a fellowship plan that was created widespread interest in the educational world. Since its inauguration 19 years ago, the DuPont Fellowship Plan has granted 350 fellowships and 34 scholarships in 33 universities. This year's enlarged plan offers an increased number of awards to help more individuals continue with chemical research projects. 6 postdoctorate and 18 postgraduate fellowships will be available at 18 universities during the coming term. The colleges themselves choose which of their advanced students or young professors shall receive the fellowships, and they also assign the research subjects. The DuPont Company does not even require that the research be done along lines directly connected with DuPont products. In helping young scientists of ability to carry on chemical research, DuPont hopes to contribute towards America's future, thus giving added meaning to the DuPont pledge, better things for better living through chemistry. As an overture, Don Voorhees and the Cavalcade Orchestra play a special setting of Vincent Youmans' ever-popular Time on My Hands.
This evening, the Cavalcade of America brings you the story of pretty, delicate Elizabeth Blackwell, who became the pioneer woman physician of her time and whose ideas influenced England and France nearly as much as they did America. In the year 1844 in Henderson, Kentucky, we find her talking to a friend who is desperately ill.
Do you feel better now, Jane? Breathe quietly. The pain is gone, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. It's gone for now, Elizabeth. You've taught me how to face pain. I even feel brave enough to face death itself.
Hush. You mustn't waste your energy.
Oh, Elizabeth. It's meant so much to me in these days of illness. Your care of me.
I only wish I'd had the necessary knowledge to take care of you properly, dear. Without having to depend on a doctor. I feel so helpless at times, not being sure.
But you have a natural gift for healing, Elizabeth. It shouldn't go to waste.
There, dear. You must not get excited.
But it's wrong. It's a sin, Elizabeth. To be gifted with intelligence and such a quick understanding of sick people. And then let your gift go to waste. I know that to ask for a deathbed promise is unfair, but if you would only try to study medicine.
Very well, my dear. I'll try. I promise you. Now, you must go to sleep.
Sometimes the ill and the dying have a clearness of vision denied to normal people. Young Elizabeth Blackwell, teaching school in Kentucky and nursing in her spare time for friendship's sake, received a direct challenge to seek her true vocation. But 90 years ago, medicine was a profession that women could not enter. Or so young Elizabeth Blackwell was told over and over again. 3 years after the death of her friend Jane, we find her in the office of the dean of a medical college.
This is strange. Very strange. I expected to greet a large, domineering type of woman, Miss Blackwell. What do I see? Small, graceful girl. Large, appealing eyes, look of intelligence. I can't find a trace of madness in your countenance.
I think you're almost annoyed with me, sir. Because I deceived you, perhaps?
How do you mean?
Because I sent you that letter from Dr. Dixon telling of the remarkable progress made by his private student in medical studies. But you see, I arranged that the letter didn't mention my sex. You were pleased with the letter at first. Then you were shocked to find that it spoke of a woman.
Naturally. You're the first woman I ever heard of who wanted to be a doctor.
But don't I know as much chemistry as your other entering students?
Yes, but...
And don't I know far more anatomy than most of them?
True, but why in the world did you take this bizarre notion into your head, Miss Blackwell? A woman doctor. Ridiculous. It's embarrassing for me. Because I have no real reason to bar you from my classes. Yet I will not admit you.
You're at least frank with me, sir. 11 other medical schools have invented reasons. Tell me, if you can think of no reason why a woman should not be a doctor, can you think of any reason why she should be one?
That's for that.
Be honest with me, sir. I deserve honesty, at least.
It does happen that yesterday in our dispensary a frightened child begged that the nurse alone should attend her because she was unused to men. But nervous women patients or frightened children are the exception in a man's practice.
Then for them, at least, a woman doctor would be useful, even desirable.
You think to cajole me, Miss Blackwell, to wheedle your way.
No, I'll not beg, as a woman might. I'll speak to you as one scientist to another. When I began this study of medicine, I felt as though I were advancing along a road in which each turn became more fascinating. You know that road to knowledge because you followed it yourself, Deanworth.
Yes, I know the feeling you describe.
Then admit me to your classes. Give me the chance to win a diploma with other real students.
Stand up for a moment, Miss Blackwell.
Stand up? Certainly, but why?
Your small stature's against you. Still, your manner's straightforward enough. Oh, but that mop of hair. You'll have to shave it, I fear. No wig would stay on your head otherwise.
What in the world are you talking about?
You'll have to wear a wig in my classes.
Oh,
Wig, waistcoat, tie, and shirt. And you'll buy yourself trousers, Miss Blackwell.
you mean you want me to dress like a man?
On this application blank, you will write Edward Blackwell. For the next 2 years, you will be Mr. Blackwell, not Miss. And you may graduate with the rest of my students.
Oh,
What's the matter?
I won't do it.
But you've just begged me for the privilege.
I want to be a doctor. I cannot be turned from medicine to play acting. I shall find someone broad-minded enough to let me enter his college as a woman. And I'll enter your profession flying my own colors. Good day, Dr. Worth.
Elizabeth Blackwell had made up her mind. Finally, by repeated effort, she got herself admitted to a small medical college at Geneva, New York. But prejudice, the enemy that every pioneer in science or medicine must meet, soon brought misery to Elizabeth's daily life. A year and a half later, in the small Geneva boarding house where she keeps a room, Elizabeth hears a knock at her door.
Oh, good evening. I'm Maribel, the new girl in the house. I suppose you're surprised to see me. I just made some cocoa, and I thought perhaps you might like to have some. I brought a cup for you. Why, thank you. But I doubt if your mother would want you to speak to me.
She doesn't. Oh, but she's out tonight. Does anyone in the boarding house ever speak to you?
No. And usually they draw their skirts aside when I pass.
Could I come in and look at your room?
But if your mother doesn't
Oh, I
want
do
you...
wish you'd let me.
Why, certainly.
Goodness, it's just like any other girl's room, isn't it? Why did you come to Geneva College? Were you disappointed in love?
It's never struck anyone, I suppose, that the reason I want to study medicine is because I like medicine.
Seems like a funny reason for a woman.
Since you're on a tour of inspection, since you're the first person in Geneva to call on me in this year and a half, I should show you everything, shouldn't I? Well, look closely. These are my books that I study every night. These are my 3 dresses, all black, so I'll be as little noticed as possible, and people can't say I'm flaunting myself. And these are pictures of my dear family. This one of my little sister. She wants to study medicine, too. I must find a way without telling her what I've been through to persuade her not to do it.
Oh, you surely won't do that.
Why not?
Because I'm sure if you can be a doctor, she could too. I've admired you so long, Miss Blackwell. You think I came to your room to be mean. Honest, I didn't. I've watched you go along the street with your head held high, not looking to the right or left at the silly people laughing. And I thought you were wonderful.
Did you?
Yes. Oh, don't give up. Your little sister looks to be about my age.
Yes.
Please let her study medicine, too, if she wants.
Maribel! Maribel!
Oh, there's my mother. I must go.
Yes, run quickly. She isn't upstairs yet.
Miss Blackwell, I can't come to see you again, but I'll come to commencement, and I'll applaud for you.
You funny child. You can't applaud at commencement.
Maribel!
I'll applaud anyway. You'll see. Good night.
Elizabeth Blackwell stayed with her chosen work and in 2 years' time had earned the right to a medical diploma. The day she was to receive it, London, New York, and Philadelphia noted the fact with astonishment. As for Elizabeth herself, she sat in the packed hall of Geneva College, half dazed by realization that a landmark on her weary road would soon be passed. In the gallery of the school, Maribel, her mother, and some other women are watching.
Can I get in here, please? Don't pardon me.
Pardon me, ma'am. I'm late getting into this here ceremony. Would you please find out the female medical student?
That's her, sitting right in front of the platform. Her brother is sitting beside her. She'll get her diploma when the organ stops playing.
She looks sweet in that black silk.
Sweet Maribel, a little fuzzy, sitting there just as high and mighty as if everybody in the place wasn't staring at
Hush,
her.
Mother. They've only let strangers into the balcony on condition that we keep still.
She's used to having tongues wagging, that girl. I'm glad that up to the day she's graduating, not a woman in this town has spoken to her.
Seems kind of harsh somehow. She's an awful little thing, ain't she?
She's little, but she's funky. And, Mother, I bet someday it won't be a bit funny for girls to go into medicine or law or anything. It's a way to earn a living.
Hush, Maribel. I'd rather be dead in my grave than have you trying to earn your own living.
It's time now. She's going up on the platform.
Oh, look at her.
She's going to get her degree.
Ladies and gentlemen, now we come to the most unusual ceremony of this commencement day. The most unusual in the history of Geneva College. I am glad to see that so many of our friends among the townspeople are present to witness this happy occasion. Miss Elizabeth Blackwell, please step forward.
Look at her, so stuck up.
Elizabeth Blackwell, I hereby confer on you the degree of Doctor of Medicine, and I offer with this diploma the heartfelt congratulations of the faculty.
Sir, I thank you. It shall be the effort of my life, with the help of the Most High, to shed honor on my diploma.
Oh, Mother, isn't she splendid?
Maribel, you mustn't applaud. Hush.
She started everybody to applaud. Reckon I ought to do it myself.
Maribel, stop. Nobody's ever applauded at a commencement before.
I'm glad I started it. Maybe it makes her feel better. She knows now that even some of the folks that laughed at her are taking their hats off to her.
Although she had received her diploma, more tribulations were to face Elizabeth. After a few months of graduate study in Paris, she suffered a misfortune endured by many medical scientists. She contracted a severe infection. We find her in a room in a Paris hospital.
Alors, jeune Américain?
Ici, monsieur le docteur. Elle est souffrante un peu ce matin. Miss Blackwell. Miss Blackwell.
Yes, nurse.
You have a visitor. Most important. Dr. Fouquet. Dr. Fouquet. To see me.
Do not disturb yourself, mademoiselle. Nurse, I speak with her alone.
Oui, monsieur le docteur.
Sure. I hear everywhere of the young American girl who wishes to be a doctor, and then I do not find her until she is flat on her back in my hospital, with her eyes very sick.
Yes, they told me. I have a purulent ophthalmia. It may have been my own fault.
No. You are a meticulous student, they tell me. You clean your instruments. You use your hands with finesse. Let me look under the bandage. Yes. Quiet now.
I can hold quiet if you look.
Bon, good. Yes. This eye will recover. It will get well.
You mean the other one won't get well?
C'est ça. Pas de chance. Yeah. Are you crying? You dare not even cry with those eyes.
I won't cry. But my doctor told me that it would get well. He said...
Pay no attention to him. I am Fouquet. No one in Paris argues with me.
But why did my own doctor...
He thought, she's a woman. Impossible to face her with a fact.
Then are you trying to tell me that all my future is gone?
For you, surgery is gone. But there are other fields in medicine. All I try to find out is what you mean to do when you leave here.
I want to be a doctor.
You still want it? Even disfigured? With fear of more accidents?
I couldn't be interested in anything but medicine.
Grâce à Dieu. Good. Now I feel good all day. I feel as proud as if one of my own staff had done a brave thing.
Dr. Fouquet, s'il vous plaît.
Je viens. I must go now. I am the busiest doctor in all Paris.
And the best one, too. Thank you for coming, Dr. Fouquet.
Oh, no thanks to me. I was curious. I wish to see this innovation that comes to us from a new country. A femme docteur. As a Frenchman, I have admired beautiful women. As a clever man, I have liked witty ones. But as a doctor...
Are you taking my pulse, sir?
I am kissing your hand. You will allow that tribute to courage, Mademoiselle la Docteur Elizabeth Blackwell?
Though partially blind, she studied in Paris, then in London, and then, confident in her preparation, she turned to New York to begin her practice. Many a young doctor finds this period the most difficult in his life. For Elizabeth Blackwell, it was twice as hard. Desperate, she started a physical culture class for young ladies. One afternoon, Elizabeth finishes directing their exercises and walks into her office, where Maria Zakrevska, another woman doctor whom she knew in Europe, greets her.
Hello, Elizabeth. I took the liberty of waiting in your office since you're busy.
Sit down, Maria.
Ah, you're tired today. Was the class trying?
Oh, they're nice girls. They're intelligent. But a physical culture class. It's ridiculous to have to teach the most elementary health rules to women of 23 and 4. They ought to know these things from childhood.
Well, when enough women get into the medical profession, they'll teach other women sane living.
Maria, we're not in the medical profession. Both of us are qualified to be doctors, but we have no more chance of using our training than if we'd never opened a book or performed an operation. We're waste material.
No, we are not that. We are pioneers. That's why we are lonely.
What is this awful, stupid, falsely moral disapproval that people visit on us? It isn't fair. Well, I expected it in medical school. After all, I might have been a little flirt looking for entertainment in a college full of men, but now I worked and slaved. I was ill so long in Paris. I thought I'd proved myself.
How many patients have you had this week?
None.
Well, since the city won't let us into their dispensaries, the only chance for us is to start a dispensary of our own. Is there any encouragement from anyone to whom you have written?
No one. Here, I found this article in a journal today, offering advice on our project. Read it.
Let me see. If there were any accident in a woman's hospital, the trustees would be blamed. The death certificates would not be recognized. Only low people would come to such a hospital. My heavens, it goes on like that for a whole column.
In my mood this afternoon, I see no future ahead of me at all.
Hey, young ladies, don't you ever open your door?
Oh, good day, folks.
For a moment, we thought you were a patient.
No, not me. I'm sound as a chestnut, but I got a letter here. It looks mighty important.
Oh, thanks. Oh, it is important. It's from the Reverend Henry Ward Beecher. You know, Maria, he's the famous minister in Brooklyn.
Oh, yes.
Oh, dear, hearing from him so quickly must mean that his committee for charitable projects didn't even consider helping me.
Well, sorry if it's bad news. Better luck next time. Day.
Well, open it anyway, Elizabeth.
But as long as they didn't answer, I dared to hope. No. Wait. It says... I can't believe it. Read it, Maria.
Wait. A hospital modeled entirely on the plan you outline. A dispensary that may have men trustees for the financial backing, but that will provide a staff of women medical experts. The intelligence and application of American women in medicine must not be wasted in idleness.
Elizabeth! Let me see it again. Who's to find us some money? Oh, here. Here, the Society of Friends. And the Reverend Ting.
Yes.
And the Reverend Henry Ward Beecher.
Elizabeth, you're despairing of the future. Complaining because your gifts were going to waste. Here, write them an acceptance at once.
Maria, we'll work for this dispensary. For its future. As no women ever worked for anything before.
Elizabeth, you aren't going to cry.
No. A doctor in Paris said I wouldn't ever dare to.
years of worthwhile effort found their response in the public mind. A group of prominent New Yorkers helped Elizabeth Blackwell to found the New York Infirmary and College for Women and Children, which still exists today as one of the finest institutions of its kind. But the influence of Elizabeth Blackwell was not to end on this continent nor in her lifetime. Invited to England, she advised in the opening of medical courses for women and on the opening of hospitals for women. Today in the United States, there are over 7,000 licensed women physicians, establishing a record of medical service to their fellow citizens. The Cavalcade of America salutes these professional women through one of their valiant leaders, Dr. Elizabeth Blackwell.
Young people often protest that America's frontiers are gone, that there are no strange new lands left to explore. They complain that adventure is a thing of the past. It is true that America's geographical frontiers are gone. The plains, where the bones of buffaloes once bleached, are now dotted with flourishing cities and productive farms. But today America faces a marvelous new frontier, holding far more promise for human good than mere unpeopled stretches of wilderness. Today's frontier is the vast, unexplored domain of science. Scientific research offers those who would be modern pioneers all the adventure that comes with seeking unknown things, all the thrills that come with discovery. And those engaged in research find inspiration in the knowledge that their work contributes to the welfare and happiness of mankind. With each triumph of the laboratory, the world takes another forward step. Among the pioneers who are helping to build our modern civilization are the research chemists. From their excursions into the realms of atoms and molecules come discoveries that serve you every day. Chemical products, such as refrigerants and cellulose film to protect your food. Fast dyes and man-made yarns for better clothing. Cleanable fabrics and soapless soaps for your home. Better medicines and X-ray film to help guard the health of your family. Think, for example, of chemistry's contribution to a modern car, safety glass, improved oil and gasoline, durable finishes, antifreeze compounds, better tires, and so on through a long list. This forward march of science and industry has carried the American standard of living to a point higher than that of any other country in the world. The DuPont Company, maker of chemical products since 1802, has been privileged to contribute many of the developments that have helped to make such progress possible. And just as it has done in the past, the DuPont program of chemical research will continue to provide better things for better living through chemistry. Minutemen of the Air, a story of amateur radio operators and their contribution in time of national disaster, will be the subject of the broadcast when next week at this same time, DuPont again presents the Cavalcade of America. This is the Columbia Broadcasting System.
You are listening to Golden Age Radio, rumble.com/C/GAR, brought to you by G3PL.com.
From Hollywood, California, the Lux Radio Theater presents Madeline Carroll and Herbert Marshall in Romance.
Lux presents Hollywood and extends thanks to you, ladies and gentlemen, for your purchases of Lux toilet soap and Lux Flakes. It is your loyalty to these fine products that enables us to bring you the Lux Radio Theater every Monday night. This evening, our cast is headed by Herbert Marshall and Madeline Carroll, starring in Romance, with Ralph Morgan and Claire Dodd. Walter Wanger, Hollywood's eminent producer, will be heard as special guest. Our music is conducted by Louis Silvers. And now, your host and producer. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Cecil B. DeMille. Greetings from Hollywood, ladies and gentlemen. For me, as perhaps it does for some of you, tonight's play holds many golden memories and brings me back to the Broadway of exactly 25 years ago, to a season of theatrical grandeur seldom seen before or since. It was in February 1913 that this eternally young play, Romance, by Edward Sheldon, opened its remarkable run with Doris Keene and William Courtney at the Maxine Elliott Theater. And it was during that run that Jesse Lasky, Samuel Goldwyn, and I met at the old Claridge Grill on Broadway and decided to take Horace Greeley's advice and start making pictures in a little town called Hollywood. We wondered if we could persuade Dustin Farnham, then playing in a melodrama called Arizona, to take a chance and star for us in our first motion picture. It was a season that saw Jane Cowell in Within the Law, George M. Cohan in Broadway Jones, Lorette Taylor in Peg of My Heart. At 69, Sarah Bernhardt was playing vaudeville at the Palace. George Arliss was starring in Disraeli. Billy Burke, Nazimova, and Maud Adams were there. And so were William Faversham and Tyrone Power, father of the present star of that name. At the same time, a young man named Douglas Fairbanks was bounding through a piece called Hawthorne of the USA. And 25 years ago, as today, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs was playing to packed houses. Only the star then was Marguerite Clark. And so tonight, on its 25th anniversary, we bring back Romance, a drama as ageless as love itself. Twice a motion picture, our radio play stars one of the loveliest ladies of the screen, Madeline Carroll as Margarita Cavallini, and Herbert Marshall in the role of Thomas Armstrong, whom we meet for the first after he had become Bishop Armstrong. Miss Carroll is now engaged in filming The River is Blue, a Walter Wanger production. And Mr. Marshall has just completed Mad About Music for Universal Studios. As Cornelius Van Tuyl, we welcome that veteran performer, Ralph Morgan, while Claire Dodd will be heard as Susan. The Lux Radio Theater presents Herbert Marshall and Madeline Carroll in Romance. Christmas Eve in New York. In the library of a pleasant old house on Washington Square, Bishop Thomas Armstrong rests comfortably in his favorite chair beside the fire. Out of the corner of his eye, he watches his grandson, Gerald, who stands looking out of the window, a worried frown on his face. The silence is broken only by the ticking of the clock. The old bishop lights his pipe and blows a reflective ring at the high ceiling and speaks casually.
Who is she, Gerald?
What's that?
I said, who is she?
Who is? Who?
The young lady who's causing you so much anxiety.
Why, How did you know?
When a young man comes to visit his grandfather on Christmas Eve and devotes the entire evening to cracking his knuckles and looking at his watch, I jump to the obvious conclusion. Who is she, Gerald?
Well, as a matter of fact, there is someone. I was just debating whether to tell you about it. I'd like your advice, Grandfather.
Thank you. A great many people have come to me for that, Gerald. It usually turns out, though, that what they were looking for was a sympathetic listener.
Well, that's part of it, too. You see, I can't speak to Mother about it. Not yet, anyway, and, well, you'd better prepare yourself for a shock. You see, I'm going to be married.
When?
You're not surprised?
No, not very. It's quite an old custom, you know. What's her name?
Lucille Anderson. I don't think you've ever heard of her, but she's an actress.
I see.
That does surprise you.
Just a little. She's very beautiful, I suppose?
Yes, she is. And clever, too, and sweet. I never met anyone like her before. When you come right down to it, she's 10 times too good for me. She's wonderful, really.
Of course she is, of course. Go on, Gerald.
Well, Things have been pretty tough for her lately. You see, she has no folks, and jobs are scarce, and... Well, she's living all alone in a rotten little boarding house up in the 50s. And that's why I think I ought to marry her now, right away. You think I'm right, don't you? Well?
I don't know, Gerald. You're pretty young, of course.
Yes, but...
And your life's just beginning. You'll change. And there may come a time when you'll need more than any little actress can ever give you. You've got to be very sure, Gerald.
But I am sure. Oh, I might have known I couldn't make you understand. You changed the minute you heard she was on the stage.
No, I didn't, my boy. I didn't change. I only remembered. And I do understand, Gerald. Believe me.
I don't see how you could very well. When you were my age, things were different. You were a minister.
And ministers don't have emotions, is that it?
Well, I didn't mean it that way.
I know. Sit down, Gerald. I want to tell you something. Something I've never told to anyone before. I used to think I never would.
Well, what is it?
Something that happened to me when I was just about your age, nearly 50 years ago. I was rector of St. Giles then. That was before I married your grandmother. Well, one night, in November it was, November 1888, I went to an evening party at old Cornelius Van Tile's house. It was a party in honor of Rita Cavallini, the Italian opera star. She was a beautiful woman, Cavallini. Beautiful and fascinating. The whole town had turned out to meet her, and the old house was blazing with lights. As I came up the front steps, I could hear the laughter and the music.
Good evening, Mr. Armstrong.
Evening, Joseph. Am I late?
A bit, sir. Mr. Van Tile's been asking for you.
Tom, where have you been?
Oh, Susan.
I thought you'd never get here. Uncle Cornelius has been pestering me to send a carriage around after you and... Tom.
What?
What's the matter with your eye?
Eye?
Your right eye. It's all red.
Oh, that. Well, the regular Wednesday evening boxing class met in the gymnasium of the church. One of my pupils is on the way to becoming a master.
Oh, Tom. And you know you're supposed to lend dignity to the party.
And dignity it shall be. I'll present him to the left side of my face.
Where is he? In the hall, sir.
There's Uncle Cornelius.
Good evening, Mr. Van Tile.
Tom, I've been looking for you. How are you, my boy?
Splendid, thank you.
Well, have you met her yet?
Cavallini, no.
You must, of course. I'll see if I can pry her loose from her admirers. I'll be back in a moment.
Well, shall we get some supper?
Cavallini first, supper afterwards.
Business before pleasure. You're not very keen on this, are you?
What?
Being presented to the great Cavallini.
Well, it's a little out of my line, if that's what you meant.
Well, I'm glad you're here, even if you aren't. You can help put the gossip brigade in their places. They've started already.
On Cavallini?
Yes, they've been whispering all sorts of things about her. Tom, I want you to be very nice to her. You will, won't you?
Of course I will.
Well, come along then and have some supper. It'll be hours before Uncle Cornelius gets her away.
I can dance, Madame Cavallini. I remember distinctly.
But Madame Cavallini promised it to me.
Per carità, signori, I have done so very much tonight.
Gentlemen, if you please. Madame Cavallini is tired. If she's to sing again tonight, I think she ought to rest.
Si, I really think so. Thank you so much, signori. Take me away, Cornelius, quickly, please.
Come along. Excuse us, please. This way, Madame Cavallini. Sit down, Rita. Here.
Oh, I thought you would never rescue me, Cornelius. Oh, those young men, oh, Dio, they are so enthusiastic.
Oh, well, you'll be safe up here.
But no more people tonight, please.
Just one or two. There's a young fellow here, rector of St. Giles.
Oh, Cornelius.
Do you mind?
I am very angry with you.
Why?
You invite me to your house. Bene. I am happy to come. But I find I'm invited as an artista, not as a friend.
Oh, Rita, don't be absurd.
It was not like this in France, in Millefleurs. I was not just a singer from the opera then. You have not forgotten?
Do you think I ever could?
Do you remember the night I sing to you, when you walk up and down below the window, and how we watched the sea? Il bellissimo mare. Side by side in the moonlight.
I remember. And other evenings, too. It makes me sad a little.
But why?
Because I also remember that I'm growing old, Rita.
Oh, you will forget that in Millefleur when we go there again.
If we ever do.
What do you mean?
Time doesn't stand still, Rita. You're young. You've everything before you. And I... Well...
Well...
Rita, why don't you marry?
Marry? Me? Oh, Dio mio.
I'm serious. Haven't you ever loved anyone?
You ask me that?
No, you know what I mean. Hasn't there ever been anyone who...
I am happy now. It is enough.
I'm thinking of the years to come. It isn't good to be alone then. I know. What will you do?
I will turn my face to the world and I will say... I am Rita Cavallini. I have lived as I wanted to live, and I have been happy. I am happy now. Sono felice. Then, if I must cry a little, I will turn away so no one will see me.
Just as you do now.
Oh, go away, Cornelius. You are much too clever for me. And you make me sad. I will not be sad.
All right, dear. You'd better rest anyway.
Are you, sure Mr. Van Tile isn't in the drawing room, Joseph?
Quite sure, Mr. Armstrong.
I'd like to see him before I leave, but... Oh, well, I'll wait.
If you'd like a quiet place, sir, you might try the library upstairs.
Thank you, Joseph.
Good evening.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know anyone was here. The butler told me that I could...
No, go, please.
I didn't mean to disturb you. I was just looking for a quiet place.
I am not disturbed. I shall only be here for a moment anyway. Please, you sit down.
Thank you.
You don't like parties, huh?
Well, I wish you hadn't asked me quite so directly.
I know. I don't like them either.
I don't believe we've met. My name is Armstrong, Tom Armstrong. I'm rector of St. Giles's Church.
Rector? Che vuol dire?
The minister, clergyman.
Oh, I see. Peccato. How very sad.
I beg your pardon?
You are too young.
No, not really. I mean, ministers aren't always old. Any more than opera singers are always robust.
You think they are not?
Well, I don't know. From what they tell me of this Madame Cavallini...
Oh, then you have never seen her?
No, I don't care very much for the opera.
Ah, ecco. Well, you have not missed much when you miss La Cavallini.
Really? Do you know her?
Oh, si. We are very, intimate.
Is she as beautiful as they say?
Do they say that?
Well, of course.
Well, she is not. She is really very ugly. But people do not know she is ugly because they cannot see beneath her makeup.
Oh, I'm sure you must be mistaken. I'm talking of Rita Cavallini.
Yes, I am too, but you have never seen her.
No, I merely bow to public opinion.
That is very dangerous. If you believe the rumors of her beauty, you must also believe the stories of her past. That is public opinione, too.
I haven't heard any stories.
Shall I tell you some?
I'd rather you didn't.
As you wish.
Thank you.
What are you thinking?
I was thinking that you aren't being very charitable. Of all the people who are willing to carry tales, a friend should be the last.
Of all the people who know her, I am the one who knows her best. She will not mind what I say about her.
I should like to have her word for that.
You are defending her. That is most unusual. There are very few people to defend Rita Cavallini.
Then please count me as one of them. You see, I preach goodwill and brotherly love from my pulpit every Sunday. It's only right that I should practice it myself on Monday.
And you would like me to practice it, too.
That's the general idea.
Then you have my word, Mr. Armstrong. Never again will I speak badly of Rita Cavallini.
You made a very sudden reformation.
Very sudden, poverina.
Ready, dear? Oh, you here, Tom?
Yes,
Is it time, Cornelius?
The guests are waiting. I told them you were going to sing your aria from La Singara.
But I sing La Singara tomorrow.
Well, should we call this a rehearsal, then?
Si. You will excuse me, Mr. Armstrong? Grazie.
Tom, shall we go down? I'd like you to hear this. I'm sure you'll enjoy her singing. Tom, what's the matter? Is there anything wrong?
Mr. Van Twilight, I feel very, very silly.
It was pack of full tonight. Oh, yes, so many encores. I am very tired, Vanucci.
Madame, you are the visitor.
Good evening.
Oh, Mr. Armstrong.
Hope you don't mind my coming back here.
Oh, no, certo no.
I felt I owed you an apology. For last night, I mean. I must have sounded rather pompous.
Oh, we will forget last night. It was my fault. I should have told you who I was.
I should have known without your telling me.
But you had never seen me.
I've corrected that. I heard you sing tonight. You were wonderful.
Oh, grazie, mille grazie.
Well,
You are not going so soon.
I live downtown, you know. It takes quite a while to...
My hotel is there. I will drive you in my carriage.
Well, that's very kind of you.
Will you wait? I shall only be a moment.
It's really more than just being a minister. You see, our parish is rather large, and we have more than our share of slums.
Slums? Those are the poor?
Yes.
And they are in your care, too?
Well, we try to help them as much as we can. It's all part of the job.
I see. Would it help sometime if we were to give a concert?
To raise money?
Si. I would be glad to sing if you would like it.
Would you? Really? You are good.
It is not goodness. I was poor once, too. I know what it is like. So, we will work together, then. It will be nice.
I can't tell you what it will mean.
St. Giles Rectory. Was that it, madam?
Yes. Good night, Mr. Armstrong.
Good night, Madame Cavallini. And thank you.
You kiss my hand? Mine?
Because you are kind. And because you are lovely. Good night.
Good night. Drive on, please. Quickly.
Tonight, in our brief intermission, I want to introduce a man who's been creating quite a little stir around here. Just between us, I mean among the ladies. He's dark, handsome, and mysterious. Who are you anyway, stranger?
I'm the charm man.
So I've noticed. But do you think you ought to boast about it?
I don't mean what you think. I mean I tell the ladies how to rate their charm.
Rate it?
Yes. Figure up how much they have in actual percentages.
No wonder you interest the fair sex. Can you tell the ladies in our audience how to do that?
Yes, I can. They can rate themselves or have someone else do it. They'll need pencils.
Pencils? All right. Are you ready, ladies? Go ahead, Mr. Charm Man.
A perfect charm score would add up to 100%. Ready? I'll give you the top percentage allowed for any one charm, and then you give yourself as much of that as you think you deserve. Ready now? A really beautiful figure rates 40%. Mark down what you deserve. Got it? All right. Smooth, well-kept hair rates 15%. Got your percent? Exceptionally nice eyes rate 15%. Good teeth rate 15%. Smooth white hands, 15%.
Hold on a minute, Mr. Charm Man. That adds up to 100%, and you haven't even mentioned a lovely complexion. You've got to remember this is a Lux toilet soap broadcast, and we think a lovely complexion's the most important charm of all.
Well, don't get excited, Mr. Oig. I agree with you perfectly.
There's a very good reason why I don't put clear, smooth skin on my chart.
Yes? What is it?
You see, Mr. Ruick, the point is that unless a girl has clear, smooth skin, there's just nothing I can do for her. I have to call this whole charm rating thing off.
Thank you, Mr. Charmman, but I'm sure that isn't going to frighten the lovely ladies in this audience. They know how to keep skin soft, smooth, attractive, how to guard against the choked pores that cause cosmetic skin, dullness, tiny blemishes, enlarged pores. They remove dust and dirt, stale rouge, and powder thoroughly with Lux Toilet Soap's active lather before they put on fresh makeup and always at bedtime. You see, they know Lux Toilet Soap is the mild, pure white soap that 9 out of 10 screen stars use to guard their million-dollar complexions. And the ladies in this audience are pretty and wise. We return now to Mr. DeMille and our play.
We continue with Romance, starring Madeline Carroll and Herbert Marshall with Ralph Morgan. The fire in the bishop's library burns to a red glow. The old man has paused in his story, looking thoughtfully into the flames. Now he turns to his grandson, and in a low voice picks up the thread of his old romance.
And so we planned the concert together, Rita Cavallini and I, almost 50 years ago. We saw a good deal of each other for a few weeks. We became very good friends. It was more than friendship, but I didn't know it then. One evening, a few days before Christmas, Susan came here to the rectory to speak to me about some church affairs. She was sitting near the fireplace, almost where you are.
These are the decorations for the church. Mrs. Vander is taking care of those. I think that's all, except for the midnight service on Christmas Eve. Have you decided about that, Tom? Tom,
Oh, I'm sorry. What did you say, Susan?
about the midnight service on Christmas Eve.
Oh, yes, I thought I'd arrange for the choir to sing carols and a procession to the church. We could start over on West Broadway.
Is there anything I can do for you on that?
Oh, thanks. I'll take care of it myself.
Well, I suppose that's all.
Yes, for now, anyway. Please let me help you with your coat.
We don't see very much of you these days, Tom.
I know. I've been pretty busy. Madame Cavallini's concert took a lot of time.
That was over last week.
Well, there were other things, too, Susan.
Yes. Did you enjoy Mignon the other night? I thought I saw you there.
I enjoyed it very much.
She was very lovely, wasn't she?
I liked her even better in La Boheme. And I thought her Violetta was superb. I've been quite often, you see.
I didn't mean it that way, Tom.
It was in your mind, though?
There's nothing in my mind except, well, what people have been saying.
The Gossip Brigade. Have they been talking about me?
Oh, you know how they are. They've got to have something. I've been doing my best to keep them quiet, but...
I don't need a champion, Susan. I don't need anyone to defend me.
Tom, I'm not going to quarrel with you. We've been friends too long to let a thing like this come between us. I just thought you should know. That's all I have to say, Tom.
I'm sorry. I've been on edge lately. Please forgive me.
Of course. And you'll come to see us again, won't you? When you find time?
Yes. Good night, Susan.
Overture, ready, madam. Overture.
Presto. We must hurry, madame. Overture, the voice say.
I am ready, cara. My scarf, please.
The scarf, where is it? Go away. It is too late. Go away.
No. Open the door, Vanucci.
But, madame.
Open the door, please.
Hello.
Cornelius, I thought you... Come in, avanti.
Well, you seem a little disappointed. Were you expecting someone else, Rita?
Perhaps. Sit down.
I'd like to speak to you alone for a moment. May I?
Vanucci, will you wait outside, please?
Oui, madame.
Could you not come to my hotel, Cornelius?
I could have, yes. But I may be wrong. I had an idea I might not be received there.
Maybe you are not so wrong.
And you know why I've come, Rita.
I think so.
Rita, I have always had a very fond hope that someday Susan and Tom Armstrong would be married.
Yes?
A month ago, I took it for granted. Right now, I'm not so sure. Has Tom asked you to marry him yet?
No.
And if he should?
I would refuse him.
I'm glad of that, Rita. For both of you. But why do you lead him on, then? Is it just that you're amusing yourself at his expense?
See, it is very amusing, Cornelius, to feel your heart torn in two, to lie tossing each night in the darkness, waiting for sleep which never comes, to want with all your heart what your heart forbids your having, to know that tomorrow will be empty as today, and every day long, long into the years. It is very amusing, Cornelius.
You love him that much?
I, who have been so wise. It is very funny, isn't it?
What will you do, Rita?
I have my passage. I sail for England Thursday.
Does he know?
I have not told him yet. I have promised to see him again the day before Christmas.
Overture's almost over, Madame Cavallini.
You will excuse me?
Wait. If you sail Thursday, that's Christmas Day. You can't sail on Christmas, Rita.
They are the same, Cornelius. All days are the same.
Was it the rectory you wanted, madam?
Please, you may stop here.
Yes, madam. Beautiful day, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
You want me to wait?
What is that singing?
Comes from the church. St. Giles' Choir, I guess.
Oh. Yes, wait, please.
Will the altos come in stronger on this section, please? A little more.
Mr. Armstrong.
Yes?
There's a lady just came in the back of the church.
Someone to see. Oh. Will you take the rest of the rehearsal?
Yes, sir.
Rita, I didn't expect you so soon.
You must not let me disturb you.
Oh. No, it's quite all right. Shall we go into the rectory?
If you want.
We can cut across the garden. This way, Rita. We're rehearsing for the procession tonight. Do you think you'll be able to watch it?
Perhaps. I am usually tired after the theater.
Oh, well, you'll probably be able to hear it from your hotel. There we are, Rita.
Thank you.
Mr. Armstrong?
Yes, Kate?
Mr. Armstrong, Mr. Van Tile is here. And the ladies from the Mother's Aid Committee have been waiting since 4 o'clock.
Oh. Do you suppose they'd mind waiting another half hour, Kate?
I don't think so. They seem to be using their time very well. They're getting a donation from Mr. Van Tile.
Good. I'll be in the library, Kate.
Yes, sir.
Go in, Rita. Here. Sit over here by the fire. You must be cold.
I'm not really.
You'll have some tea?
Thank you. I cannot stay very long, Tom.
Oh, but you've got to.
I think perhaps I feel a little out of place here.
Oh, nonsense. You've got to come often. My sister's coming down from Boston next week. I want you to meet her. You'll...
Tom.
What?
I will not be able to meet your sister. I will not be here next week.
Why?
Tonight is the last performance. I am sailing tomorrow.
Rita, you can't.
I must, Tom.
When did you decide this? It must have been very sudden.
No.
And you didn't tell me.
I didn't want anything to spoil these last few weeks. I don't want anything to spoil them now.
Rita, you mustn't go. Stay just a little while. Stay until spring.
Non posso. I must sing in Roma next month. In Aprile, I go to La Scala in Milano and...
Rita, listen to me. You're not going to leave. You've never given me a chance to tell you how I really feel about you. I'm going to tell you now. I love you, Rita. I want you to stay here. I want you to marry me. Will you, Rita? Why do you look at me like that? Didn't you know it, Rita? Didn't you know that someday I'd tell you?
I was afraid you would. You are very foolish to love me, Tom.
I don't believe that.
I must make you believe it.
You can't. Because I think you love me too, Rita.
No.
Then what have all these weeks meant to you? Have they meant nothing?
A little light in all the darkness. No more. A little warmth in the cold. A little flame that burns not long. And then goes out.
No, Rita, you don't mean that. You can't, Rita.
No, please.
Rita.
Let me go.
Tell me I'm right. Tell me you love me.
I love you, Tom.
Rita.
I love you. Caro, I love you. There is nothing in this world but you and me.
Nothing.
This is our moment. Our little moment. That will never come again. Hold me close, Tom. Close to you. And then let me go away.
I'll never let you go. Do you understand? Never. You're going to marry me, Rita.
No, no.
What's the matter? What's wrong, darling?
I cannot marry you. Non posso. Don't ask me again, Tom. Please, carissimo. Please don't ask me.
Why? Why shouldn't I? Why shouldn't you marry me?
Oh, Tom, you poor blind fool. Don't you know what I am? Don't you know what I've been? Cannot you see it in men's eyes? The men who crowd around me with their knowing little smirks. Ask your friends why you cannot marry me. And your churchgoers. Ask your friend Cornelius Van Tuyl. He'll tell you.
I don't believe you. You're lying. There's something else.
Ask him.
Very well, I will. Come in.
Mr. Armstrong, the ladies are all
Will
ready
you,
to...
Kate, ask Mr. Van Tuyl to come here, please?
But the committee...
Ask him to come here.
Yes.
Sit down, Rita.
I think I had better leave.
Please. You said he'd tell me. Well, I'm willing to ask him, and you should be willing to stay. I know it's not true, and if he says it isn't, you're going to marry me, Rita.
Oh, Tom, dear. Why do you torture yourself? Let me go now. Forget everything we've said.
Do you think I could? Come in.
Oh, Tom, hello, Rita.
Cornelius.
Kate said you wanted to see me, Tom.
Yes. Mr. Van Tuyl, I've just asked Rita to marry me.
Have you, Tom?
She insists that there's a reason why she can't. Do you know? Do you know what that reason is?
I? Why, of course not. Why should I know?
Would you approve of our marriage? You're a friend. She said I was to ask my friends. Would you approve?
Yes, Tom.
Thank you.
But if Rita has reasons of her own...
We were to take your word.
I see. Well?
Well?
My congratulations to you both.
Rita, I knew you'd lie to me. Why did you lie?
It was the truth, Tom.
You said you loved me.
I do, and that's why I told you the truth. That's why I'll tell it to you now. You believe Cornelius when he says he know no reason. Don't you see he's only being kind to me? Don't you see that he's the one who's lying? Ask him about Milfleur. He was there. I was there. Ask him. I spoke to you about the look in men's eyes. Ask him about that. He was one of those men.
Rita!
Is this true?
I
Is it true?
I wish I could make you understand, Tom. I'd have given anything in the world to have spared you this.
I don't want your pity. Let me alone. Get out. Both of you.
Oh, Tom, if only you had listened to me first. Why did you make me tell you? We would have said goodbye. Everything would have been so sweet. Now there is nothing but pain and bitterness. Goodbye, Tom. And thank you for having loved me.
We pause for station identification. This is the Columbia Broadcasting System. Madeline Carroll and Herbert Marshall return shortly for the third act of romance. Next to a good friend, give me an honest enemy. Or if I'm to have both, give me Walter Wanger. Today, like Samuel Goldwyn and David O. Selznick, Mr. Wanger is an independent producer, a picture term for a man with sufficient fortitude and capital to compete with the major studios. A man who makes his own films under his own roof and has his own stars under contract. Distinguished for three things: his pipes, his polo, and his pictures, Mr. Wanger brings to the screen a youthful vigor and originality that's won him the admiration of his contemporaries and the gratitude of the public. For 15 years, he's been alternately my business ally and competitor. But however the tides of business may have swung us, we've managed to remain the best of friends. And you can now prove the quality of your friendship, Walter, by giving me the $120 you owe me.
I'm terribly sorry, C.B., but I didn't quite hear you.
Now, perhaps your ears will prove a little sharper if I ask you to remember a certain night in New York some years ago when you and 10 other gentlemen tended me a dinner party.
Oh, that's better. Of course I remember. And if I may say so, it was all my idea. You had entertained us so lavishly at your ranch that we just thought it'd be nice to reciprocate.
And after dinner, you all went to a prize fight, but I had a cold and had to go to bed?
Oh, yes. How is your cold?
Oh, much better, thank you. And all of you left in such a hurry that I found myself in the unique position of having to pay for a dinner party given in my honor. The bill was $120, and if you don't mind, I would...
Nobody can hear a word you're saying, C.B. I must say, as a producer, your diction doesn't set a very good example.
And you can prove how good a producer you are by producing $120. Oh, well, never mind. I suppose you are my guest. What would you like to talk about?
Well, as a rule, producers always talk about how good they've been. Let's you and me be different and talk about how bad we've been, at times.
Walter, you're always a leader in new ideas, but I think that idea is terrible.
Oh, you do? Speaking of poor ideas, did you happen to see a picture quite a few years ago called Four Frightened People?
Who made it?
You did.
Oh, did I? Oh, so I did. That's very funny. After making it, I thought of changing the title to Five Frightened People. I was the fifth. But what about that super colossal idea you made, the President Vanishes?
That was also an artistic success. After seeing it, I packed my bags and left a note telling them to change it to Wanger Vanishes. But seriously, C.B., I only hope that by the time I've spent 25 years trying to pull them out of the hat, that my record of hits will be half as brilliant as yours.
Thank you, Walter. And I meant what I said about your being the top new idea man. The industry will never get enough of your courage and foresight.
Thanks. And speaking of ideas, apparently you had a great one in The Buccaneer.
Oh, have you seen it?
Of course not.
Oh.
Do you think I'll stand in line for 3 hours? You can't get near the box office.
Well, Lafitte was a great pirate. You might get some ideas. Tell me, what pictures are you working on now?
Well, by this time next year, I hope to have completed 8. Among them, a story on modern Spain called The River is Blue, starring Madeline Carroll and Henry Fonda. Then there will be a screen version of Vincent Sheehan's autobiography, Personal History. Another one with Charles Boyer and The Arabian Nights.
They sound fascinating, Walter. But a couple of those pictures may not be so well received abroad. Does censorship scare you? Do you think pictures would be better if regulations were stricter or more lenient?
I've no particular complaint along those lines at all, C.B., except that I must say I feel we deserve the same freedom as the press. But certainly, crudeness and vulgarity have no place in motion pictures.
I agree with you 200%.
Besides, with so much Lux soap around my studio, how could our product be anything but clean?
That's right, Walter. Give credit where credit is due.
Well, I just wanted you to know that Lux soap is part of our official equipment. But getting back to pictures, what are we going to do, C.B., when it seems that the greatest stars of the moment are the Seven Dwarfs and a woodpecker's pantry called Charlie McCarthy?
Well, we'll do what we've always done, Walter. Find new stars like those you're now cultivating. Louise Platt, Tim Holt, Marla Shelton.
But doesn't it take more than a producer to make a star? It's the public who really makes them. And you who are listening now can help Mr. DeMille and me and every other producer if you'll do simply this. When you see a newcomer on the screen, or someone who isn't so new but whom you think should be given more of an opportunity, just let your theater manager know your opinion or send it to us direct. You don't want to see mediocre pictures, and we don't want to make them. You'll minimize them by letting us know what type of pictures you want to see and the people you want to see in them. Thank you.
Good luck to your 8 pictures, Walter. And I'll forget the $120. Our play, starring Herbert Marshall and Madeline Carroll with Ralph Morgan, continues. On Christmas Eve of the present day, the old bishop relives the scenes of his youth. His grandson leans forward, with eyes intent on the old man's face.
And here, on that night, 50 years ago, the whole world suddenly seemed to fall away from me. They left, Rita and Van Tuyl, and I sat here alone with my thoughts and the broken pieces of my life. And then suddenly I was on the street, walking blindly through the snow. I must have walked for hours, seeing nothing, hearing nothing. Only the dim echo of Rita's voice ringing in my brain. I remember people on the street, stopping me, staring at me. I remember thinking how like
Good evening, Mr. Armstrong.
Good evening, Mr. Armstrong.
Good evening, Mr. Armstrong.
Good evening, Mr. Armstrong. Out without a coat in this weather, you'll get your death of cold, mister.
You poor blind fool. Don't you know what I am? Don't you know what I've been? Can't you see it in men's eyes?
blind fool. Blind fool.
Good evening, Mr. Armstrong.
Mr. Armstrong.
Mr. Armstrong, they've been looking for you at the rectory. Procession almost ready to start.
I love you.
Mr. Armstrong.
I love you. Carissimo, I love you.
Mr. Armstrong, where are you going? The procession starts over this way. Mr. Armstrong.
Ask him about me, sir. He was there. I was there. Ask him.
Blind fool. Blind fool.
Good evening, Mr. Armstrong.
Fool.
Good evening.
Let me take your coat, Rita. Here, sit down, dear. You must be tired out.
It is good to be home again.
I left a message at the desk that you were not to be disturbed. You were magnificent tonight, Rita. Did you hear them cheer? 20 minutes. My ears are ringing yet. It was a great triumph, Rita. The greatest of your whole career. Did you know that?
A great triumpho. Tomorrow they will have someone else to worship. A month from now, they will not even remember my name. Si, un gran triunfo.
Rita, you didn't always feel this way.
Things were different then. Something happened to me this afternoon, Cornelius. Something went dead inside of me. I'll never really live again.
You will, Rita. Don't think I'm being hard, but time has its own way of healing wounds.
I know time heals everything. But will it take that look from his eyes when I told him, Cornelius? Can time give him his youth again, his smile, his light heart?
Even that, Rita, believe me. And for you, there's work. And perhaps in Millefleur, perhaps we can find that magic again, Rita. You and I.
No, Cornelius.
Why not? Why can't we try?
Don't you know? That part of my life, it's over. It's finished, Cornelius. Oh, I know you're trying to be kind, but is it kindness? In these last few weeks, I learned something all new and beautiful. The goodness of the world. It come like some great light that burn and blind and strike me to the ground. For the first time, I see myself as I am, and it hurts me so. I cannot go back now, Cornelius.
But if you could only forget.
I do not want to forget. I want to remember. Every day, every hour, every minuto, I want to remember. Because he'll remember too. And perhaps someday he'll know how much I really loved him.
Madame Cavallini, it is almost midnight. You are going to sit up more.
Ivanucci.
But if we are to sail tomorrow...
I am not tired, Cara.
No, madame. Io sono stanca.
Have you finished with the packing?
Almost.
Then go to bed. I will not need you any... Tom! Tom, why did you come here? Vanucci.
Si, madame.
Tom, what is it? Why do you stare at me? Your hair is wet. Have you been walking in this snow?
Yes. Yes, I've been walking. I was thinking about you and praying for you. Praying for you in the twilight, in the evening, in the black night.
Praying for me?
In my prayers, I felt a hand here on my arm. Someone stopping me to speak. And I looked down, and it was you.
Tom.
I heard you crying as I ran away. Ran I don't know where. Till I saw lights and people. And then a beggar woman standing at the curb held up her hand. I gave her something. She thanked me. With your voice.
Tom, you mustn't.
I saw you walking by me in the streets and looking at me out of windows. I couldn't move. You were so thick and close around me. Then it began to snow, and I thanked God, hoping it would blot you from my sight. But each snowflake was a tiny face. Your face. Thousands and thousands of you swirling in your devil's dance by the glare of the street lamps. And not one spoke. You looked at me imploring, speechless. Then suddenly I knew. You were begging me to bring your soul to God before it was too late.
Tom, you frighten me.
Everything is over between us, seared away. But I am still a minister of God, and you are a woman who needs my help. Our love is gone. But I offer you another. The love I bring you tonight is God's alone.
Don't, please. You don't know what you're saying.
Hold out your arms to him. Open your heart to him. For though your sins be as scarlet, they shall be white as snow. For you come out of great tribulation and have washed your robes in the blood of the Lamb. Open your heart to him. And no longer shall you hunger. No longer shall you thirst. For he will lead you to the living waters and the tree of life. And you shall be a bride. A bride.
Oh, Tom. Tom, my darling. Have I hurt you so much? So much that you cannot even pray for me? No, let me hurt you, Tom. Please, no, let me hurt you. We were not meant to love each other. I know that now. We are brought together, you and I, only that you might help me. And you have. You come tonight to bring my soul to God. But your work was over. Long ago. That night in the carriage. Do you remember, Tom? You kissed my hand. It was then your work was done. Now go away, dear. Va via. And forget.
No. I've lied to you. I've lied to myself. I thought I came here tonight to save my soul. I didn't. I came because I love you.
No.
I love you. I don't care what you are or what you've been. Do you understand that I don't care? I want you. I want to marry you.
You don't know what you're saying.
I do. We could be married tomorrow. We could go away together.
Go away, yes. Go away and hide. That's what we'd be doing. Oh, Tom, listen. Listen to me, please. For the first time in my life, I know what it is to be strong. Let me keep that strength. Let me be a little proud and hold my head up high. Don't make me ashamed again. You have your church, your work.
You're more to me than that. You're more to me than life.
Tom. Am I more to you than God himself? You prayed for me before. Now let me pray for you.
Rita.
Please go. Now. before it is too late. Listen. You hear? That's your world. That's where you belong. Go back to it, Tom. Go back to God.
Rita.
Ave Maria, gratia plena, Dominus tecum, benedicta tu in mulieribus,
Rita.
et benedictus fructus ventris tui, Jesus. Sancta Maria, Mater Dei, ora pro nobis peccatoribus, nunc et in hora mortis. Amen.
That is how I remember her. Standing there with her eyes closed, her head thrown back, praying for me. I never saw her again. Some years after, I married Susan, your grandmother. She made me very happy, Gerald, all my life.
And Madame Cavallini, where is she now?
She went back to Europe that Christmas Day in 1888. She sang for a few years more in Berlin, in Paris, in Italy, and then she died. She was a great woman, Gerald.
I think you were pretty fine, too.
Nonsense. But I hope you understand now that I haven't quite forgotten what it feels like to be young.
Grandfather, I've been a fool, but your stories helped a lot. I know now what I'm going to do.
Do you?
I'm going to marry Lucille just as soon as I can get hold of a license.
What? Oh, but that wasn't why I told you the story.
I know. But I hope you don't mind.
No, Gerald, I don't mind.
Thanks. Good night, Grandfather, and Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, my boy.
Slowly the curtain falls, and our evening's romance is over. Not since a year ago last December, when we presented Cavalcade, have we had the pleasure of hearing from Madeline Carroll and Herbert Marshall together and as themselves. To their native England, Hollywood owes a great debt for giving us not only two superb performers, but two very charming people, Miss Carroll and Mr. Marshall.
Thank you, Mr. DeMille. You know, Hollywood is the most amazing place in the world.
Are you speaking for the Chamber of Commerce, Madeline, or for yourself?
For myself. Last fall, I left Hollywood to visit my place in Spain. I traveled 6,000 miles, only to find that the better part of valor was to keep out of Spain. Then I came back to Hollywood, and before I had a chance to catch my breath, I found myself in Spain.
Just one moment, Madeline. Would you mind starting again at the beginning? I'm afraid that...
Well, it's just as startling as it sounded, Bart. This picture I'm making, The River is Blue, is as Spanish as a bullfight or a hot tamale. And if you'd like to see what Spain really looks like, just come along to the location set Mr. Wanger has built down the coast, some 30 miles from here. I can't show you my house, but I can show you a Spanish seaport to the life.
Speaking of Mr. Wanger, Madeline, do you suppose he was being, well, just polite when he complimented Lux Soap?
I'll have you know that Walter Wanger is never just polite. Don't expect a compliment from him unless you've really earned it. I know. I work for him. Believe me, Mr. DeMille, there's no chance of anyone getting conceited working for Walter Wanger. Now, if you still want his statement verified, well, I'm the one to do it. Lux Soap is always in my dressing room at Wanger Studios. And that's most accommodating, for then I don't have to bring it from home. From that, Mr. DeMille, you may gather that I'm one of the most faithful users of your product.
Thank you, Madeline, I do. And by the way, I understand an important birthday will be observed this week.
Of course, Mr. DeMille. Washington's birthday. Tomorrow.
I should have said two important birthdays. Washington's and yours. I'm a bit early, but many happy returns from all of us.
Thank you, sir. But if that surprised look on your face is the result of my remembering Washington's birthday, then be informed, please, that you're talking to an ex-school teacher.
Madeline, with a teacher as beautiful as you at the blackboard, I'll bet you got a carload of red apples a year.
wouldn't know. My career as a school mom lasted only 3 months. But that was long enough to find out, Mr. DeMille, that your old hometown of Washington, North Carolina, was the first town in the United States to be named after Washington, way back in 1775.
I hardly blame them for changing the original name, Madeline. The town was first called Forks in the Tar River. As for you, Mr. Marshall, while I know you never taught school, I'm sure your impressions of a man like Washington would be interesting to all of us.
Well, C.B., you see, when I first came to this country, I felt rather sorry for myself. It was all so new to me, so strange and different. But as I became acquainted with America, with its vigorous, romantic background, I was able to see it as I think so few Americans are privileged to see it. To so many Americans, it's an old, taken-for-granted story. Valley Forge is an old story. Something to be learned in grade school and then filed away in the distant cabinets of youthful learning. May I suggest in all humility that someday all of you dust it off and read it again. The story of a solemn man torn with pity for a starving, ragged rabble of freezing skeletons once dignified by the name of army. A man heckled and tormented and abused by those who had given him a command he had not sought. A man facing enormous odds, robbed by defeat of everything but a dream, a vision of a new land. Washington turned that dream into a truth, and in so doing, lifted his name to immortality. And now, C.B., my thanks and good night.
Good night, Mr. DeMille.
Good night, Madeline. Good night, Bart. That was finally said.
Louis Silvers appeared through courtesy of 20th Century Fox Studios, where he was in charge of music for the new picture, The Baroness and the Butler. Mr. Marshall's latest RKO film is Breakfast for Two. And now, here's our producer.
Like tonight's story, the play we bring you next Monday evening comes to the radio, backed by an enviable record of success on stage and screen. Its title, Forsaking All Others, the romance of a modern girl jilted on her wedding day. The girl will be played by one of the most talented dramatic actresses in Hollywood, Miss Betty Davis. Co-starred with her will be Joel McCrea. And resuming the part he played in the Broadway production, Anderson Lawler. Our sponsors, the makers of Lux Toilet Soap, join me in inviting you to be with us again next Monday night when the Lux Radio Theater presents Betty Davis and Joel McCrea in Forsaking All Others. This is Cecil B. DeMille saying good night to you from Hollywood.
D. Schondrömer, heard tonight, is from the collection Waltzes of Vienna. This is the Columbia Broadcasting System.
You are listening to Golden Age Radio, rumble.com/C/GAR. Brought to you by G3PL.com.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Does that include me?
It certainly does. The secret word is water. W-A-T-E-R.
Really?
You bet your life. The more than 3,000 DeSoto Plymouth dealers of America present Groucho Marx in You Bet Your Life, the comedy quiz series produced and transcribed from Hollywood. And here he is, the one, the only...
I didn't know he was running. Oh, that's me. Well, here I am again with $1,000 for one of our couples. And if any of them say the secret word, the duck here will come down and pay him $100 in cash. The word tonight is water. Something I have very little contact with.
Groucho, we asked for some engaged couples just before we went on the air tonight.
Oh, how nice.
And just before we went on the air, Miss Dorothy Hildebrand and Mr. Eddie Kretz were selected to be on the show, and here they are. Folks, meet Groucho Marx.
Well, welcome, youngsters, for the DeSoto Plymouth dealers. Say the secret word and divide $100. It's a common word, something you'll find around the house. Miss Dorothy Hildebrand, eh?
Mm-hmm.
And Mr. Eddie Kretz, a boy and a girl, eh?
Yes.
Where are you from, Dorothy?
Los Angeles, Avenue 31.
And what is your hometown, Eddie?
Pomona.
Pomona, huh? What's your nickname, son? I'm sure your pals don't call you Mr. Kretz.
Well...
They wouldn't dare. Kretz means scratch, I think, in German. All right, fella says, well, I started from Kretz when I was a boy. Anyhow, it's a good, noble German-American name, isn't it?
Yeah.
What do they call you, Eddie?
Well, I have been called Hot Shoe.
Hot Shoe?
Me.
You mean you say Hot Shoe and somebody says Gesundheit? Why do they call you Hot Shoe? Are you,
well, I mean, I...
pretty lively with the feet?
Just don't like to stay in one place a long time, I guess.
Oh, you're a rover, in other words.
Rover.
Oh, a vagabond, huh? Song of the road and all that sort of thing? Huh? Do you have a pet name too, Dorothy?
Well, some of my friends call me Frosty.
Frosty.
Uh-huh.
Well, you can overcome that, you know. I understand you're engaged, Hotfoot. When is the fatal day?
Well, I haven't quite made up my mind yet.
That's what you think. Footy, you're living in a fool's paradise. And what about you, Frosty? How far has this engagement progressed?
Well, it depends upon the Army. If he's taken in, why, we'll have to wait till he's out. But if he's rejected, we'll get married right away.
Well, Hotfoot, I'm glad you finally made up your mind. Do you have a job, Frosty?
Yes, I do. I work in the county hospital as a cashier.
Cashier?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Do you have to pay to go to the hospital?
Oh, no. Just to get out.
I'm sure she's used that joke before. What sort of work do you do, Hotfoot?
I work for my dad as a mechanic.
What kind of a mechanic you?
Well, on automobiles.
Repairing your father? Is that what you do? Have you given any thought to the obligations and responsibilities that are involved in matrimony?
Oh, yes. I'd have to stay home a little more at nights, I guess.
That's a kind of an ambiguous answer there. And I'll thank you not to be more specific. I'm curious about today's young lovers, Hotfoot. When you want some excitement, what do? Do you look at stereopticon slides?
Well,
huh?
Usually go for a ride on a motor.
Yeah, on a motorcycle?
Yeah.
You call that exciting?
Well, I mean,
have you ever sat with a beautiful girl and looked at stereopticon slides? With all the lights turned out? I've often wondered what was on those slides. After you're married, Eddie, are you going to continue riding your motorcycle?
Yes, I thought I would.
You're not very sure, are you?
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, that's what I...
Now, those are your plans at the moment?
Well, not at the moment. I mean...
You mean after you're trapped? Is this agreeable with you, Frosty?
Well, you won't have much time to be riding a motor after we get married.
You're going to raise little putt-putts, eh? Well, you're a nice couple, and I wish you luck as you travel down the bumpy road of life. Both Frosty and Hotfoot. Now, in just 1 minute, you're going to play You Bet Your Life for a chance at the $1,000 question. And now, right now, here's some advice I want you to listen to very carefully.
Friends, for the most comfortable ride of your life, drive the 1952 DeSoto. That's not just an idle boast, because the 1952 DeSoto, tops in safety and performance, is also especially designed for comfort. For instance, when you ride in a DeSoto, you sit on DeSoto's famous 3-pillow chair-high seats. These DeSoto seats give you full support, let you sit naturally and comfortably without cramped positions. In a DeSoto, you enjoy the smooth, even, no-bump ride of Oriflow shock absorbers. And thanks to DeSoto's extra headroom, even the tallest people can sit and ride comfortably. You'll also find that it's easier to drive this 1952 DeSoto. The mighty 160 horsepower Fire Dome V8 engine provides you with surging power at the touch of your toe. More power than you'll ever use. And listen, you'll discover that because DeSoto full power steering works for you all the time, it takes all the work out of driving and parking. Long trip or short, it's less work driving a DeSoto. Stop in at your DeSoto Plymouth dealers tomorrow. Make the 5-mile trial in either the mighty DeSoto Fire Dome 8 or the brilliant DeSoto Power Master 6. Discover the unsurpassed pleasure of driving a DeSoto. And don't forget, all dealers who sell DeSoto also sell Plymouth, the low-priced car most like high-priced cars.
Here we go. Let's see how high I can build you $20. From our list of 20 categories, you selected number 19, which is sporting terms. Here's your first question. How much will you bet?
15.
Talk it up. There's no
15.
secret there. 15. In what sport is the expression touche used?
Sword fighting.
Well, that's close enough. Fencing.
And you're off to a good start. You have $35.
Remember, you're going for $1,000 tonight. How much of your 35 will you bet now?
Okay.
30.
All right. In what sport is the expression lob used? L-O-B. Talk it over and take a guess if you don't know.
I never thought.
Take a guess.
I
Well, you should have tried anyhow. It's tennis.
You have $5.
Oh, well, that's too bad. Here's your third question. How much of the 5 will you try? Now, don't be discouraged.
Half of it.
Half.
2.5.
2.5. In what sport are the expressions dribble and jump ball used?
Basketball.
That's right. Now you have $7.5. You now have $7.5, and here's your last chance to beat the other couples. How much will you bet?
Might as well bet it all.
In what sport is the expression squeeze play used?
Fine. Not football.
No, baseball. Well, you should have known that.
Oh, that's...
National pastime. Well, nobody leaves here broke. We're going to give you one more question, and if you get this right, you're going to leave here with $25. Who is buried in Grant's tomb? General Grant is right. Give him the $25. Thanks and good luck from the DeSoto Plymouth Dealer House.
Groucho, just before we went on the air, our studio audience selected a
Which
house.
do you like less, dealers or dealers?
I hadn't really given that much thought.
Well, think about it, Fenham. It's
All
your
right,
job,
I will.
too.
While I'm thinking, I'd like to say that just before we went on the air, we selected a housewife from our studio audience, and her partner is a businessman, Mr. Arthur Laveau. Folks, would you come in here, please, and meet Groucho Marx? I think I like dealer.
You do, eh? Well, welcome to You Bet Your Life. Say the secret word and divide $100. It's a common word, something you find around the house. Mrs. Muriel Stetson, they say you're pretty tall. How tall are you, Muriel?
Oh, I'm 6 foot and 1/4 inch.
You're 6 feet, and are you?
That's without shoes.
That's without shoes, huh? Well, are you frequently without shoes?
Occasionally. I love to go without shoes.
Do you? Well, hand them over. I'll wear them, huh?
Really?
Well, I'm sure the quality is every inch as good as the quantity.
Thank you.
What a sickening thing to say to anybody. Arthur Laveau, eh?
Yes.
Is that the way you pronounce it, Laveau?
Laveau.
Do you like dealers better or dealer?
Well, dealers.
Dealers. Well, that would go with Laveau. Laveau, it sounds like a cow pulling her foot out of the mud. What kind of a moniker is Laveau? Or is that a perfume?
It's supposed to be a French name.
A French name. Oh, I see. Where are you from? Arturo?
New York City.
New York City, huh? Well, is that part of France? French Quarter?
No.
What is a French Quarter? That's 2 francs, isn't it? Who do you work for, Arturo?
Pan American World Airways and Compañía Mexicana de Aviación.
Oh, well, I'm the same to you. And do you have a job, Muriel?
Yes, I model clothes for tall girls, for Tall Fashions of California, and Tall Togs.
Oh, Tall Togs, huh? Tall Togs out of school? Is that what you call it, huh? Why is it you tall girls always marry skinny little runts? How big is your husband, for example?
Well, he's a growing boy. He's 6'9" and he weighs 270 pounds.
Say, he's a big little runt, isn't he, huh? Now, Mr. Levov, since you're connected with the airlines, do you do any flying yourself? I mean in a plane, of course.
No more. I am more concerned with the study of flying saucers.
Oh, well, how long have you been interested in flying saucers?
About 20 years.
Where do you think they come from?
Well, there are several theories on that score. Some believe that they're from the solar system. The rest of us who subscribe to extraterrestrial visitors think that they are from another system entirely.
What kind of characters do you think are in these saucers?
Well, physically, we subscribe, by we I mean those of us who go into this, we subscribe to the theory that they are probably humanoid in appearance. By humanoid, I mean that they will resemble us structurally. Physiologists have concluded that the human figure is the best adapted for intelligent life.
You're referring to your own, of course, huh?
No. For example, the greatest medium to transmit thought into artifacts, things that you can make and use, tools, is the hand with the opposed thumb. No other form of life seems to have that. So it is reasonable to assume then that while they may be reptilian, or they might be even a form of insect life, still they would resemble us in that they would have arms and hands.
Well, you think as soon as they get a thumb, they'll get in touch with us? Well, what is all this galloping crockery doing here, do you think?
I believe they are watching us, evaluating our civilization, trying to cope with the problem of how to get in touch with us.
Well, with the shape the world's in, if they're smart, they'd be over bothering Venus instead of us. Well, I don't know if there are any sources or not, but they certainly make interesting conversation. Now, folks, tune in again next week. Same time, same station. When our subject will be, is that funny little line across Panama Canal really a canal? Or is the Earth really inhabited? Well, I must say it's been interesting talking to you two, and I hope you win a reasonable amount of money in the quiz. That's about as guarded a statement as I expect to make tonight. Right now, you're going to play You Bet Your Life. Beat our other couples, and you'll get a chance at the $1,000 question.
The engaged couple went broke, so these people have a clear field. The secret word is still water.
Here we go. Let's see how high I can build you $20. You selected famous men of history. Each of these men played a prominent part in changing the history of his country. I'll give you the man's name, and you tell what country he's from. Here's your first question. How much will you bet?
15, all right?
Talk up, kids.
15?
17.
17?
$17.
Okay.
$17. All right. Richelieu was a famous man of what country?
France.
France is right. You're on your way. You have $37. Remember, you're going for $1,000 tonight. How much of your 37 will you risk this time?
35.
Paul von Hindenburg was a soldier of what country?
Germany.
Germany is correct. You now have $72. How much of the 72 are you going to try?
70.
Okay.
70.
70, all right. Benito Juarez was the leader of what country?
Mexico.
Mexico is correct. You've now climbed to $142. This is your last chance to beat the other couples. How much will you bet?
$142.
Have you discussed this?
That's all right with me.
Okay. From what country was Oliver Cromwell?
Great Britain.
England is okay. We'll buy that. And you'll wind up with $284. Thanks and good luck from the DeSoto Plymouth Dealers. You like dealers or dealers? have you thought about it since?
Yes, I've.
And what is your conclusion?
I like dealer, I think.
Dealer, you like dealer?
Yeah, I like dealer.
So in the future, I'll say dealers.
Groucho, we have a couple of people with interesting jobs for you now. Mrs. Daisy Tate was chosen because of her occupation, and Mr. Russell K. Hart is a special guest. So, folks, would you come in and meet Groucho Marx?
Welcome, folks, for the DeSoto Plymouth Dealers. Dealers, say the secret word and divide $100. It's a common word, something you find around the house. Mrs. Daisy Tate, eh? You're very pretty, Mrs. Tate. Shall we have a Tate-a-Tate?
All right.
Where are you from, Daisy?
Selma, Alabama.
Selma? Did you come with a banjo on your knee, Selma?
No, but I know the man that did.
You did? Well, it's a pleasure to have you here, Daisy. We haven't had anybody from Alabama here for quite a spell. By the way, you're not running for the vice presidency, are you, Daisy?
No.
You're not, huh? Well, you can't be too careful these days, you know. Some of these candidates will do anything to get on television. Now, Daisy, does a gentleman from down south ever ask a lady her age?
Never.
Well, I'm a skunk from up north. How old are y'all, Daisy?
79.
79? Well, you're the prettiest 79 I've seen, Daisy. Now, Russell K. Hart, eh? You'll forgive me, sir, if I devoted my attention to this charming little lady. Oh, brother, cotton wouldn't melt my mouth, would it? Russell K. Hart, what did he keep for?
Crumb.
Did you say crumb? Is that whole wheat or pumpernickel? Where are you from, Crumb? And where do you crumb from?
From Illinois.
Illinois, yeah? You running for president?
No, sir.
Let's see, you got a hole in your shoe? That's how we tell nowadays. Are you married, Mr. Hart?
Yes, I am.
Oh, then in your case, it's 2 hearts and 3/4 time, eh?
No, 3 hearts.
Sorry, I'll bid 4 spades. How did you meet Mrs. Hart, Russ?
Well, it was in the 8th grade in grammar school. I sat behind her. And she never liked me very much because I used to put her pigtails in the inkwell. And I didn't pay very much attention to her for the next 4 years. And then when I was a senior in high school, I dated her. She was living in the old soldiers' home at the time.
And you were after her for her pension? Is that right?
No, you see, her father worked there.
Oh.
And,
dipping pigtails or something?
No, he was the chief clerk in the treasurer's office.
Oh. Well, you know what you were doing, eh? Now, Daisy, Fenneman, Mr. Fenneman says you have an interesting occupation. What do you do? Are you a steeplejack?
No, I'm a model.
A model? Oh, I beg your pardon, Daisy. That was just an old northern reflex. You're a model, you say?
Yes.
What kind of a model?
From portraiture to commercial illustration.
Commercial portraits?
Yes, for instance, in the latest home journal, my last work was I was a married woman with a son that I was wild about. And I saw that he was going to marry a woman that I didn't think he should marry. But he married her.
This is fiction.
Mm-hmm.
This is the story
This is a story.
I see.
And finally, my son had to go to New York. He just couldn't stand the gaff.
Was he a fisherman? Now, Fenneman says you're a special guest, Mr. Hart. Why is that? Are you a model, too?
No, I guess it's because I'm the mayor of Santa Monica.
Really? You look so honest, Mr. Hart. On behalf of the 3,000 DeSoto Plymouth dealers, I welcome you and present you with this key to a new DeSoto Fire Dome 8.
Thank you very much.
That is the key. Now, all you have to do now is go out and buy the car. Now, Mr. Hart, how long have you been mayor of Santa Monica?
About 18 months.
18 months. I'm a babe in the woods about such things as politics. Maybe you can straighten me out on a few things. For example, after you're mayor, will you be an ambassador in Mexico? What kind of an administration do you have? Is your city pretty clean?
Yes, it's really very clean.
In other words, since you've been mayor, you've been cleaning up. Is that it? I'll confess, Your Honor.
Well, to tell you the truth, Groucho, all I receive in a monetary way for being mayor of the city of Santa Monica is $50 a month. The city council is made up of a group of 7 professional businessmen who are elected to follow out the good old American system of a representative government. And they're taking their turn on the city council as a civic duty. And certainly not for the $50 a month that they get out of it.
Well, it's wonderful to hear that, Mayor. And I think you deserve a lot of credit. And if all the politicians listening took a page out of your book, you could be sure of one thing, Mayor. You'd never get those pages back. Well, could you describe Santa Monica for our eastern listeners? For example, just where is Santa Monica?
Well, Santa Monica is a community 2 miles square. It is bounded on 3 sides by the city of Los Angeles and on the 4th side by the Pacific Ocean.
In other words, you're between the devil and the deep blue sea. Tell us some more about Santa Monica. It sounds like a very interesting little town.
Well, it is. It's a very beautiful community. It has a population of 75,000 people. We have fine public buildings, lovely churches, public schools, and we have 2 miles of the finest public beach in Southern California. So we have a lot of things out there. We think it's really a very fine place to live.
Well, I think it is. A friend of mine saw your beach one day last summer when the fog lifted for a minute down there. Well, I've kidded you, Mayor Hart, but I want you to know we appreciate your coming down here tonight, and I'm sure you're a fine public official. And if you're ever investigated by Kefauver, my advice is buy a ticket to Mexico City. Right now, you two are going to play You Bet Your Life. Run you $20 and no more than our other couples, and you'll get a chance at the $1,000 question. I can't tell you how much you have to win, but George is going to remind our listeners.
Our second couple, Mr. Laveau and his partner, are ahead with $284.
Here we go. Let's see how high I can build you $20. You selected States of the Union. Here's your first question. How much will you bet? And talk right up, Daisy. You're a partner in this.
19.
19.
How much?
$19.
All right. Lake Okeechobee, I guess it is. Okeechobee.
Okeechobee.
Okeechobee, huh? Well, I haven't been down there in 100 years, so I wouldn't know. It's one of the largest freshwater lakes in the United States. In what state is it located? Okeechobee. And if you don't know, take a guess.
New York.
Well, you're quite a ways off, Mayor. It's Florida.
Now have $1.
Now you're down to $1, huh?
Might as well bet it all, hadn't we?
All right, remember, you're going for $1,000 tonight. There's no telling how it'll come out, you know. You're going to bet the dollar. Franklin D. Roosevelt used to visit Warm Springs for treatment and rest. In what state is this located?
Georgia.
Georgia is correct.
Well, you now have $2.
Here's your third question. How much are the two?
Let's bet it all.
That's right.
Bet it all. Okay. Purdue, Wabash College, and Culver Military Academy are just 3 of the many institutions of higher education located in one state. What is the name of it?
Indiana.
Indiana is right.
Now you have $4.
It's your last chance to be the other couples. How much are you going to go for?
$4.
$4. Chesapeake Bay with its famous oysters bisects an eastern state. What is the name of the state?
Maryland.
Maryland is correct.
Well, they wind up with only $8.
Nobody leaves here with $8. I'm going to give you one more question, and this is for $17, which will bring your total up to $25. And no coaching, please. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
What fruit is used in lemonade?
Lemon.
Lemons is right. Put it there, Daisy.
And, Groucho, since these people wound up with only $8, that means that our second couple, Mr. Laveau and his partner, with $284, in just a minute get the chance at the DeSoto Plymouth $1,000 question.
Thanks and good luck from the DeSoto Plymouth dealers.
If the brakes of your car aren't behaving the way they should, if there's any question in your mind as to whether they're safe or not, then before another day goes by, get a thorough check of your brakes at the place where they know your car best, your DeSoto Plymouth dealers. Their master technicians, brake experts, will, if necessary, remove the wheels of your car and give the drums, shoes, and hydraulic system a thorough inspection. They'll adjust and equalize the brakes scientifically and fill the master cylinder with the correct brake fluid. As a final check, they'll test for safe, smooth, straight-line stops. It'll be an efficient, reliable job. Count on that. And count on receiving fast, courteous service, too, at a fair price. When your car leaves your DeSoto Plymouth dealer's service shop, you'll know your brakes are right. You'll drive with a feeling of security. So have your brakes checked tomorrow, where you'll see the famous sign of better service, the friendly sign of a DeSoto Plymouth dealers. here comes Mr. Laveau and his partner, the winning couple, all set for the $1,000 DeSoto Plymouth question. Groucho? Right in here.
Well, you'll be able to buy a lot of saucers if you win this money tonight. Here we go for $1,000. I give you 15 seconds to decide on a single answer between you. Think carefully and please no help from the audience. Here it is. In Shakespeare's Henry IV, Henry V, and Merry Wives of Windsor, there appears a cowardly braggart whose good humor and wit have endeared him to millions the world over. For $1,000, I want you to identify this genial fellow. Talk it over. What is the answer you two have decided upon?
We hope that it's pistol.
No, I'm sorry. The correct answer is Falstaff.
Oh!
So that means the big question next week will be worth $1,500. Well, you lost the big money, but how much did they win in the quiz?
$284 in the quiz.
Well, congratulations and thanks to both of you, and to all of our contestants on the show tonight.
Sure to tune in again next Wednesday night at this same time for the Groucho Marx Show, when the big question will be worth $1,500. And don't miss Groucho's television show, also presented by the DeSoto Plymouth Dealers of America. And remember, all dealers who sell DeSoto also sell Plymouth. 2 great cars, both products of the Chrysler Corporation.
And when you drive in, tell them Groucho sent you. Good night, folks, and remember, see DeSoto Fire Dome 8 tomorrow.
Folks, here's a reminder from the National Safety Council. Keep your wits and windshield clear. You Bet Your Life, transcribed from Hollywood, is produced by John Goodell, directed by Robert Dwan and Bernie Smith, music by Jerry Fielding. This is George Fenneman signing off for the more than 3,000 DeSoto Plymouth dealers from coast to coast.
You are listening to Golden Age Radio, rumble.com/C/GAR, brought to you by G3PL.com.
In just a moment, you'll hear the Raleigh Cigarette Show starring Red Skelton. But first, got a pipe smoker on your Christmas list? Then give him a full pound of Sir Walter Raleigh in the colorful, handsomely designed holiday package. A gift that truly speaks a merry, merry Christmas. He's sure to appreciate Sir Walter Raleigh. It's the quality pipe tobacco of America, with a fuller, richer, nut-like flavor. Gives smoother and more mellow smoking enjoyment. And by all means, for men in service, give Sir Walter Raleigh. It's the outstanding favorite in the Army, Navy, Marines, and Coast Guard. Yes, give the one tobacco that has everything. Sir Walter Raleigh.
From Hollywood comes the Raleigh Cigarette Program, starring Red Skelton, with Ozzie Nelson and his orchestra, Harriet Hilliard, and yours truly, Truman Bradley. And here is Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer's young comedian, the star of our Raleigh Cigarette Show, Red Skelton.
Thank you very much, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Governor Carvel of Nevada couldn't got a nicer reception. Say, Brad, did you see the preview of my newest picture, Whistling in Dixie?
Yes, I did. Say, tell me, Red, did your director, S. Sylvan Simon, like the picture?
Yeah, you know, everybody was impressed. Afterwards, the producer came up to me and says, "Well, Skelton, you've done it again."
Really, Red?
Yeah, and then he ran out in the street yelling, "I'll get an injunction!" Hey, do you like my southern accent, huh?
Oh, fine, Red.
Yeah?
But why did you keep saying, "Well, shut my mouth"?
Well, I had to. That's where I kept my salary.
I shut my mouth once.
You did, Ozzy?
Yeah, it was the time I went out with Mr. 5x5's girl.
Yeah, what happened?
He hit me with a 2x4. Hey, Red, I saw Whistling in Dixie myself the other night, and what a performance.
Yeah, you know, everybody was raving. You know the Academy Award?
Yeah?
Well, I've got a good chance to win a Wilkie button.
Say, Red, why do they always call your pictures whistling pictures like Whistling in the Dark and Whistling in Dixie?
Well, Harriet, I've had a lot of experience.
In pictures?
No, on Hollywood and Vine.
Say, Red, have you heard from Wonderful Smith since he's in the Army?
Yeah, I've got a letter here. He's doing fine, too. He wants to be a morale officer for his Harlem buddies.
Well, Red, why don't you read Wonderful's letter to the folks?
Okay, I will. It says, "Dear Mr. Skelton and friends, well, here I am. The first thing they did, here I am doing fine. The first thing they did was cut off all my hair and give me a uniform that was too big for me. Now I look like an 8-ball that's disappeared in a side pocket."
Red, you remember how Wonderful liked to eat?
Yeah.
Does he say anything about the food?
Yeah, he says, "The food here is swell. I'm sure handling plenty of good things to eat, especially potatoes." They got him in the brig. He said, "Before I go any farther, Mr. Skelton, KP don't mean what you told me."
Hey, Red, what did you tell him KP meant?
I guess I told him wrong. I said it meant keep pickled.
Read some more, Red.
Okay, he says, "I just finished cleaning my gun, and it's laying here across my knee."
Yes?
Well, that's all. Then comes a big hole in the paper. And it goes on down here. It says, "I had another accident yesterday. I spilled a little GI coffee on my shoe, and the boys now call me No Toes Smith." Well, I will close for now and give my thanks to Mr. Raleigh for the cigarettes he sent my outfit. And give my regards to the gang, signed Wonderful Smith.
Oh, look, Red, there's a P.S.
Oh, yeah, P.S. One of the boys just got his wings this morning. We found out last night the dice he was using was loaded.
Salutations to the Bakers Union Local 37 here in Los Angeles for sending 660,000 Raleigh cigarettes to our boys overseas. So a Marine in New Caledonia this afternoon was quickly surrounded by a group of his buddies when he was handed a package from home. He beamed broadly and his mates cheered when they discovered it contained a carton of Raleigh cigarettes. Factory fresh they were, too, because Raleigh cigarettes are protected. Their rich golden flavor sealed in by a brand new, scientifically designed moisture-proof wrap. This extra safeguard is exclusive with Raleigh's alone and guarantees freshness wherever you may be. Millions of people everywhere enjoy Raleigh's, enjoy their superb blend of gold and tobaccos, enjoy saving their golden premium coupons. The pack with the coupon on the back, Raleigh cigarettes.
Heading for the depot, goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. Heading for the depot, and here's the reason why. Got a touch of Texas in my talk. Got too much of Texas in my talk. Oh, this place will be my ruin. Yippin' and wahooin'. Take me back to New York. Got a touch of Texas on my brain. Got too much of Texas on my brain. Oh, the brush that's full of rabbits got me in these jumping habits. Put me back on the train. For I've seen every part of what I'm deep in the heart of. Got a touch of Texas in my talk. I got too much of Texas in my talk. I rode a Bronco down in Dallas. Oh, be careful of my callus and take me back to New York.
Got a touch of Texas on my face. Got too much of Texas on my face. Oh, that sunshine in Laredo, got it like a ripe tomato. Take me out of this place. Got a touch of Texas in my hair. Got too much of Texas in my hair. Yes, the sand from Amarillo keeps a scratching on my pillow. Take me back to Times Square. For I've seen every part of what I'm deep in the heart of. Got a touch of Texas in my toe. Got too much of Texas in my wall. Oh, the sage may be a bloomin', but for miles there's nothing human. Take me back to New York.
That was Harriet and Ozzie telling us about a touch of Nevada. Everybody nowadays is talking about the gasoline rationing, so tonight let's show how different people are reacting to the idea. First, we have Bert and Gert, a young couple from Brooklyn who are now living in California. Hey, Goit!
What, Boyd?
Hey, I can't go to work today. I ain't got no clean shirt. Look at this shirt. Nothing but doit.
Never mind. Go on outside and open the garage door.
Okay, don't yell at me. I'll open the garage door. Yo!
Boyd, what happened?
Oh, that darn spring on the garage door. Forgot to let go and it threw me on top of the house.
Oh, Boyd, you hoit?
Hey, Goit, I think I got a hoit in me back.
Oh, Boyd, you're softy. Why don't you develop some muscle?
I got muscles. Take a look at that arm.
All you need's a horse and buggy. You got the whip already.
Yeah.
Oh, gee. Gee, look at all the people in front of Al Schoenberg's house.
Yeah.
What's all the celebrating?
Ain't you hoid? Some guy just got a C ration book. Gee, and that Corrigan thought he did something, huh?
Hey, Bub. Psst. Hey, Bub. Psst.
What's the matter? You got a loose foul?
No, how you fix for gas, Bub?
Oh, pretty good, but everybody says it's my own fault. I eat too fast.
No. I mean, could you use a quart of Ethel?
Ethel?
Yeah.
Is she a good dancer or does she work on the graveyard shift?
Now, look, Bub, I'm selling these little pills, see?
Yeah?
Yeah, you just fill your tank with water, see?
Yeah?
Drop in this pill, see? And presto.
Hey.
And only $1.
Say, this sounds like a great idea. Give me one, will you?
Say, what are you two talking
Look,
about?
quite a bargain. You just fill your tank full of water and then you put these pills in and presto.
What do you got?
A tank full of water with a pill in it.
Boyd, listen to me. You better not say nothing to nobody about talking to that gasoline bootlegger, see?
What do you think I am? And I ain't gonna say nothing about the tunnel I dug to the Texaco station either.
Well, come on, Boyd. I just looked in the gas tank and you only got a pint of gas left.
Yeah, maybe we better walk to work, huh?
What, you walk? Why, you wouldn't last over Sunset Boulevard.
Who does? Well, we won't have to worry about driving downtown much longer. The rainy season will soon be here. Then you just step outside the door and a wave will wash you to work. Well, come on, let's go, huh? Hold on, we're going over our bump. Hey, ain't we supposed to be up in the front?
Gee, this car's slow. Hey, is the brake off?
Yeah, I think they just fell off.
Oh, Boyd, how can you drive without brakes?
Oh, that's easy. I'll dress up like a woman. Well, here's where we work, the laundry.
Well, drive around the block. Maybe we can find a parking space.
I can't afford to lose gas looking for a parking space. We just park here between these three cars.
Now, how can you park here, Boyd? There ain't room for another car.
Nah. That Chevy certainly put up a great fight, though, didn't it? Then we have Clem, the fella from the country. He hasn't got a car, and he's as happy as a lark. Well, here I am. All the flowers that bloom in the spring. I don't know why I'm singing that song. It ain't spring and there ain't no flowers. The only thing that's blooming is my nose. Boy, traffic sure has thinned out since that gasoline rationing. Now I can cross the street without even looking. Always a wise guy in the crowd. Well, I'm glad I don't have to worry about no automobile. My horse is good enough for me, even if he is dead. It's easier to ride that way anyway. Oh, a filling station with a woman attendant, too. Well, I think I'll go over and give her the oil. Probably get the air myself. Howdy, stuff.
Hello, Clem.
Well, gee. It was a little juicy tonight.
Where you been keeping yourself, Clem? Ain't seen you around.
Well, I've been down to the YMCA for a few days.
The YMCA?
Yes, I was the guest Don't Let This Happen to You sign. Say, Daisy June, how's business around your filling station?
Oh, just fine. All the defense workers stop here for the gas.
Really?
Say, Clem, don't look now. But do you see them two fellers across the road in that car?
Yeah.
Well, they've been sitting in that car for hours.
What else can you do with an A-book?
Clem, don't be ridiculous.
Hey, maybe they're saboteurs or traitors.
Oh, to you, everybody's saboteurs.
Well, you gotta be careful.
Now make yourself useful and let that car off the grease rack.
Be saboteurs.
But take it easy now.
Okay, I'll just press the button here. Anybody want to buy a squatty Buick?
Clem, you're a J-E-R-K.
J-E... Who's a moron?
Oh, here comes the supply truck.
Yeah, who's that driving it?
You ever hear of Rosie? The riveter?
Yeah.
Well, this is Trudy. The truck driver.
Hey, I remember her when she was a waitress. Her slip was always showing. Now look at her. She drives an oil truck and her chain's always dragging.
Uh-oh. Clem, look, here come them two men.
Yeah, howdy, neighbors.
Get into the truck, Hans.
Yeah. You made it, huh? Hey, now, wait a minute. You guys working for Hitler?
No, our boss is a guy named Schickelgruber.
Oh, that's all right, then.
No, Clem, it ain't all right. Don't you see they're stealing the oil truck?
Oh,
yeah, and what are you going to do about it?
Well, I'll tear you apart, Bub. I'll just roll up my sleeves and then... There. Now I'll get up and roll my sleeves down again. If you'll kindly take your feet off of my chest.
Now, just so you don't call the police, I'll rip this phone out. Now I'll break these mirrors so you can't flash for help. And so you can't send smoke signals, I'll take your matches.
I bet you're wondering how we're going to get help, ain't you, folks? Me too.
Now follow me, Hans. And when we get to the river road, we'll drive the truck off the cliff.
No, you don't. Hey, you leave that truck here. Them defense workers need that gas. Well, what are you going to do?
Oh, Clem! Clem, don't stand there. Do something.
Give me your shotgun. We'll take a shortcut across the field. Come on, Daisy Jones. Run! Faster, Daisy Jones, faster!
I can't go any faster. You're heavy.
Oh, doggone the luck. Yes, my luck. I stepped into a bear trap.
Oh, I'll get a stick and pry your foot loose,
Okay,
Clem.
but hurry up. This bear don't look none too friendly to me. Hey, you know, I got an idea. Let's chop down the tree and we can block the road and they'll never reach the river. Sure wish I had my hatchet with me.
Oh, you're doing just fine, Clem. Only take bigger bites.
Hey, there's an idea. We'll push the cow out on the road. That'll stop him. Get out there, cow. Go on.
Here comes the car, Clem.
Yep, here he comes. Too bad it had to be on Meatless Tuesday, anyway.
Look, Clem. Here comes the truck and the road's blocked good.
Yeah, here he comes, brother. I got him, but he dented the fender a little.
Oh, Clem, my hero. You knew they were saboteurs right from the start.
Yep.
How did you ever guess it, Clem?
Well, they were both smoking corn silks in Raleigh cigarette territory. Mr. Jones.
Say, Red.
Yes,
are you going to show how we saved gas tonight?
Yes, the whole cast pooled one car, and this is exactly what happened.
We just did that.
Hi, Red.
Hey, Ozzy. Hey. We get in a character, we hate to leave it go, you know. Hurry, Ozzy. Say, you better drive because we got to stop and pick up Bradley.
You mean the Raleigh kid?
Yeah, come on, let's go. Hey, did you ever notice Bradley? The least thing gives him a chance to talk about Raleigh cigarettes, and he will. Watch it.
Howdy, folks. Going to the studio?
Yeah, come on, get in, Brad. We're pulling my car.
Thanks, Ed.
Ah, boy, this is the life, isn't it? Hey, everybody comfortable up there?
Yeah, wouldn't there be more room if you didn't stretch out across the back seat?
Say, this is a nice car, Red.
Yeah, it goes forward all right, but I have a little trouble when I try to back her.
Well, have you seen the tobacco in Raleigh cigarettes?
Here we go, folks.
With your very own eyes, you see that Raleighs give you the finer, better tobaccos. Yeah. Compare the open ends of a pack of Raleighs with any other brand. You'll see the tobaccos in Raleighs are unmistakably more golden in color. The more golden leaf means higher quality, choicer, more expensive tobaccos.
Hey, Ozzy, take it easy going around those bends.
Speaking of blends...
I said bends.
I know, but it's my only chance. Well, Raleighs have an exclusive blend of 31 admittedly better tobaccos for unrivaled richness, smoothness, mildness, a full, satisfying flavor.
Gee, you'd think somebody had a gun in your back. We're almost to the studio, though.
But Raleighs go even farther than that.
Well, here we are.
With each pack, you get a valuable coupon. Golden coupons redeemable for dozens of luxury premiums, war stamps, or cash. Each coupon worth 3/4 of a cent. A cash dividend of about a dime when you buy the carton.
Hey, Brett, I'll bet you'd talk like that even if Mr. Raleigh didn't pay you.
You bet I would, Red, because it pays in many ways to get Raleighs.
Yeah, hey, Ozzy, do you know how to back this car?
Oh, don't worry. Millions of smokers will back me up when I say, next time get the pack with a coupon on the back, Raleigh cigarettes.
Then we have a lady and her little boy. The gasoline situation has their household in a dither. So, Harriet, you be my mother, and I'll be the mean little kid.
What are you doing, Junior?
I'm playing post office. I put a stamp on things, and then I deliver them to another room.
Stamps?
Yeah.
What stamps?
These little green ones.
Junior, my gasoline ration book.
Don't hit me. Wait till you start looking for the sugar book and the coffee book and then make one smack do for all.
You've got to be punished. There.
Oh, you broke my widow. You broke my widow.
I broke your widow what?
You broke my... Does Eisenhower tell Rommel? Hey, Mummy, I just saw a big white bird flying over the house. Is it your stork?
I hope not.
Well, he's hanging around. Maybe he's casing the joint. Oh, somebody at the door. Somebody at the door. Maybe it's me old pal, Johnny Morgan. I'll go see who it is. Oh, we got company. We got company. Who's there? Sailor, soldier, or Marine?
The man from the finance company.
Oh, a commando. Well, come right in. Make yourself comfortable. I'll be right back with a baseball bat.
Listen, son, just tell your mother that the man from the Easy as Pie Loan Company is here.
Easy as pie, huh? Hey, are you one of them people that lend money without asking any questions?
Yes, I am.
Well, loan me a nickel and keep your mouth shut, will you?
Now, I'd like to speak with your mother, if you don't mind.
Yeah. Hey, would you like a cup of coffee till Mummy comes down?
Why, thanks. That would just hit the spot.
Yeah, it would, wouldn't it? That'd be 5 cents a cup. That's 10 cents with cream. That's 20 cents with sugar. 50 cents with coffee.
You wouldn't charge me, would you?
You don't know me very well. There you fall.
Oh, hello. Junior, go into the other room.
No, I want to stay here.
No.
You let me stay here, I will bang me with a head against the wall till it waddles.
Junior, stop banging your head against the wall. You're making the picture hang lopsided. Now, you just go into the other room for a while. Go on.
No, you let me stay here, I will tell.
You'll tell what?
I will tell everybody that Pop makes your own money in the basement.
Junior, you don't know what you're saying.
No. Cheese it, the cop.
Hide that picture, Lincoln. I'll grab the paper and ink.
Junior!
Look, I'm sorry to interrupt on such a nice laugh like this, but you're 3 months behind in your car payment.
Yeah?
Well, you see, we're undecided whether to keep the car or not. What with gas rationing.
Yeah.
Well, why don't you join a Share the Ride club and you'll get extra gas?
Oh, boy, that's a laugh. That's a laugh. Ride to work with me, Pop, and come home on a slab.
Junior, go play.
Okay, where'd me roller skates?
Well, to save gas, your father used them to go to work this morning.
He took my roller skates? Boy, he'll really come home stiff tonight. Well, here I is, all alone. Now, let's see, what can I do? Pretty hard to think of something I haven't done. The way I figure, I'm about 10 years ahead of myself. Well, I think I'll take a walk down in the garage. Might be something down there. Oh, look, there's a sign on the car. Junior, don't touch the car. Signed, anxious. Now, Mummy ought to know better than that. Oh, look, a big horsefly. Whoa, horsefly. Oh, horsefly. Oh, come on, horsefly. Whoa. I will get him. Where's me hammer? Where's me hammer? Oh, boy, two of them. Give me another hammer. There. Uh-oh, they're going to land on the headlight. I would sneak up on them like the 143rd Field Artillery. There. I got away. Boy, look at them headlights. Oh, well, they drive backwards at night. I got to be all right.
Junior, what did you break? Meow. Oh, I don't know who's the worst, that cat or Junior.
It always worked, you know. Boy, at times I wish that old cat was a lion. Then I could do big things. Hey, look what I found. Me with a lemonade stand I had last summer. I think I will open up a real filling station. That's what I will do. I will siphon the gas out of Mummy's car, and I will sell it for a nickel a glass. If I do, I will receive a chastising. I shall attempt it. Oh, boy, that was a good one. Too bad it wasn't in the script. Oh, I wonder if there's any gas in the tank. I will just light a match and see. Shouldn't do that, huh? Maybe not. It will just lead to little bitty peaches. I better not. I will...
Throw that match away.
Well, don't yell at me. You scared me, too.
Now you're going to get it. Suppose you cause an explosion. What would you do?
Mummy, I don't think we have much of a choice.
Junior, You must never play with matches.
Well, I was just looking around these bundles. Spare gasoline you got stored away.
Now, you get away from those packages.
Spare
Those
gas.
are Christmas presents.
I knew I would find out what they were.
Oh, you get into the house. Go on.
Oh, boy. Oh, more company, more company.
Oh, dear.
Boy.
Oh, there's a cop helping your father into the house.
Pop must have got paid early this week, huh, Ma?
Oh, Junior, your father's been hurt.
Yeah, what happened? He fall down on his bottle?
What happened, officer?
Well, on roller skates, he made a left-handed turn on a one-way street against the light and without a driver's license.
Well, what in the world's wrong with that? I do it all the time.
She ain't kidding either.
Oh, dear, bring him into the house.
Oh, dear me, dear me. Me roller skate. Where's me on a roller skate? He's only got one roller skate on. My roller skate.
I'm sorry, little boy. It rolled down the manhole.
Well, get my raincoat. Now go look for it.
Oh, Junior, you can't go down into a manhole.
Not even I take a bath first?
No. Now, you help me carry your father into the house.
Okay. I'll help. Hold his feet up higher, mister. A little higher, please.
Oh,
Will
you're
you
so
please?
fond of your father, aren't you, Junior?
Fond nothing. Money keep falling out of these pockets. I get enough to pay for me roller skates, you know.
Remember, we'll all be back again next Tuesday at the same time. Red Skelton, Ozzie Nelson and his orchestra, Harriet Hilliard, and yours truly, Truman Bradley. Meanwhile, listen to the Tommy Dorsey Show tomorrow night over most of these stations. And now, here's Red Skelton with an idea for victory Christmas cards.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you're sending Christmas cards this year, why not paste a 10-cent war stamp on them? Or just send an ordinary postcard with a war stamp on it. That is really a victory Christmas card. So goodbye now, and thanks for listening.
Red Skelton is heard on this program through the courtesy of the Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer Studios. Remember, you pipe smokers, Sir Walter Raleigh. This program has been broadcast to the armed forces overseas and has come to you from Hollywood. This is the National Broadcasting Company.
You have been listening to Golden Age Radio, rumble.com/C/GAR, brought to you by G3PL.com. Don't forget to subscribe for more videos.
I would like to extend my sincere gratitude to Old Time Radio Research Group for their remarkable efforts in preserving and archiving the captivating world of old time radio programs. Their dedication to safeguarding these precious audio gems ensures that future generations can relish the enchanting stories, music, and entertainment of the past. Their invaluable contribution allows us to step back in time and experience the magic of radio history firsthand. Their link is in the description below.